All right, so we'll get started.
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7, yes, chapter 7. And I'm going to share the screen. All right, so we'll get started.
Chapter 7.
Yep. All right, so let's say prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Namo Nityananda.
Sri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Radha Gaura Bhaktivinoda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we also have Gaurangi sitting in the back. You see, she is. Gaurangi, you're there. Huh? You're there. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we have two people. Chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute. 7.1. So this chapter is it is a transition now from first six chapter to seventh to 7 to 12 is it's like a if you take sandwich, so two side is bread and mid is stuffing. The top part is called first six chapter. Now mid is the stuffing, the inside. So this is now we are getting into Bhagavad Gita's inside. Now it's going to be very deep knowledge. Krishna going to say. मज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुमूर्तिमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागरललितां तां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान श्री गणललिता श्री विशाखान्तांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita 7 chapter first sloka. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Sakta Mana Partha. You can repeat after me.
Maya Sakta Manapartha.
Yogam Junjanna Madasraya
Yogam
Yogam
Yunjan Madasaya.
Asansayam Samagram
Asanjayam
Asansyam Brahma
Brahma.
यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु.
Yatha
Yatha
Gyasati Tatshinu.
Titsanu.
Okay, so we'll read translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A. Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Parth, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. purport. In the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. Krishna is full in all opulence, and how he manifests such opulence is described herein. Also, four kind of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna and four kind of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described in this chapter. In the first six chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the living entity has been described as non-material spirit soul capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different type of yogas. At the end of sixth chapter, it has been clearly stated that steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness, is the highest form of all yoga. By concentrating one's mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely, but not otherwise. Impersonal Brahma Jyoti or localized Paramatma realization is not perfect knowledge of absolute truth because it is partial. Full and scientific knowledge is Krishna, and everything is revealed to person in Krishna consciousness. In complete Krishna consciousness, one knows that Krishna is the ultimate knowledge beyond any doubts. Different type of yogas are only a stepping stone on the path of Krishna consciousness. One who directly takes to Krishna consciousness automatically knows about Brahma Jyoti and Paramatma in full. By practice of Krishna conscious yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entity, the material nature, and their manifestation with paraphernalia. One should therefore begin practice yoga as directed in the last verse of sixth chapter. Concentration of the mind upon Krishna, the Supreme, is made possible by prescribed devotional service in nine different forms, of which Sravanam is the first and most important. The Lord therefore says to Arjuna, Tak Shunu, or hear from me. No one can be greater authority than Krishna, and therefore by hearing from him one receives the greatest opportunity to become a perfectly Krishna conscious person. One has therefore to learn from Krishna directly or from pure devotee of Krishna, not from a non-devotee upstart puffed up with academic education. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, this process of understanding Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, is described in the second chapter of first canto as follows. स्रवन्तां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तन हृदयन्तोऽस्थ भद्राणि विधिनोति सुहृदसतां नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी तदराजस्तमो भावा कामलोभस्य चाये चेता एतिरनाविद्धं स्थितिं सत्त्वप्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगता भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते भीदायते हृदयाग्रन्थिश्छिन्द्यन्ते सर्वसंशया छिन्यते छास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट्वा एवात्मनीश्वरे. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literature or to hear from him directly through Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. For one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engage in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hear more about Krishna from Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he become fixed in devotional service to the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes free from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remain in his position of pure goodness, become enlivened by devotional service and understanding science of Gaurangi Sant, Gaurangi. That's okay, that's okay. Understand the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once at the stage of Ashamshayam Shamagram, understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of Godhead, Bhagavatam 1.2.17-21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna. Hare Krishna. So in this sloka, couple of things coming up. Krishna could have said to Arjun that go and hear from someone else. But he's saying, hear from me. And second, asansayam samagram mam. So then you will not have any doubt. Because generally when we take knowledge, if we don't take knowledge from right source, then there is always doubt. Maybe I don't have full knowledge because maybe there is something more which I don't know. It is possible, right? That when we take knowledge, we may think that no, maybe it's not complete. So Krishna is saying, Asansayam samagram mam. Asansayam means after hearing this knowledge, you will not have any doubt, free from doubt. Or shamagram means complete, comprehensive. It's not that you are getting 5%, 10%, it's 100% knowledge. So, samagram. And he says, fix mind on me. And then fourth thing he says, listen. Sunu, tat sunu. Shunu means listening, hearing. So this hearing is very powerful, right? When we are born in this first time in this from our mother's womb, the first thing happens to us to hear. At that time, we actually baby doesn't know anything besides just hearing sound, right? Even when baby is in the womb, the baby can hear the sound. So this hearing process is the first sense organ gets activated when we take birth. So that is why this hearing is very important, that we should utilize this hearing process to hear about Krishna. And Krishna is saying, Takshunu, now you hear from me. You could have said, oh, now you look at me. Now, or now you see me. Now he's saying, hear, just hear from me. Takshunu, right? So that is very important to consider that by only by hearing process, we will able to perfect our knowledge about Krishna. That is the only remedy. Okay. So yeah. So we'll go to Sloka 2. Who wants to read? Garami. You sit down. I'm taking class. Okay. We are having discussion on Bhagavad Gita. Okay. I'm going to chat Sloka 2. Please read.
Yeah, can I?
Yes, Mataji.
ज्ञानं तेऽहं सविज्ञानमिदं वक्ष्यामक्षेषतः यज्ञानत्वा नेह भूयो न्याजानतव्यमवशिष्यते. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numerous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world and spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. The transcendental knowledge the Lord wants to explain the above mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna, confidential devotee and friend. In the beginning of the 4th chapter, his explanation was given by the Lord, and it is again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in specific succession directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes and only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. The Vedas, Mundaka Upanishad 1.3 says, Kismenu u bhagavo vidyadnape sarvam idam vijantam bhavati. Should I read more? Should I read more?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद्यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मावेति तत्त्वतः. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and those who have achieved perfection, hardly one know me in truth. There are various grades of man, and out of many thousands, one may be sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know that it is where what is the self, what is the body, and what is the absolute truth. Generally, mankind is simply engaged in the animal propensities, namely eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, and hardly anyone interested in transcendental knowledge. The first six chapters of the Gita are meant for those who are interested in transcendental knowledge, in understanding the self, the super self, and process of realization by Gyan Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, and discrimination of the self from matter. However, the Krishna can be known only by persons who are in Krishna consciousness. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. Krishna is the supreme person, but at the same time he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and the Paramatma. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempt to understand Krishna. Although the greatest of the impersonalities, Sripada Shankaracharya, has admitted in his Gita commentary that Krishna in the Supreme Personality is Godhead. His followers do not accept Krishna as such, for it is very difficult to know Krishna, even though one has transcendental realization in impersonal Brahman. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna of all causes, the primeval Lord Govinda. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Nanda Vignahara Anandira Adira Govinda Sarva Karana Karananam. It is very difficult to the non-devotee to know him. Although the non-devotee declare that the path of bhakti or devotional service is very easy, they cannot practice it. If the path of bhakti is so easy as the non-devotee class of men proclaim, then why do they take up the difficult path? Actually, the path of bhakti is not easy. The the so-called path of bhakti prescribed by the unauthorized person without knowledge of bhakti by may be easy, but when it is practiced factually according to the rules and regulation, the speculative scholar and philosophers fall away from the path. Srila Rupa Goswami writes in his Bhakti Rasamrata Sindhu 1.2 101 Shruti Smriti Purunanandi Panachantantrata Vidim Vanaha Vina ऐकान्तिकी हरेरे भक्तिर upasya eva kalpate. Devotional service of the Lord that the ignores the authorized Vedic literature like the Upanishad, Puranas, and Narada Panchatattva is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. It is not possible for the Brahman realized impersonally or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna and Supreme Personality of Godhead as the son of Mother of Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about the Krishna. Mohayanti yat sauryaha Mama tu Vedana Krishna. No one knows me as I am. The Lord says, and if one does know him, then Sa Mahatma so Durlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. Therefore, unless one practices devotional service of the Lord, one cannot know Krishna. He is Tattvataha. Even though one is a great scholar or philosopher, one only the pure devotee can know something of the unconvincible transcendental qualities in Krishna. His being the cause of all causes, his omnipotence and opulence, and his wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, because Krishna is the benevolently inclined to his devotee. He is last word of Brahmana realization, and the devotees alone can realize him as he is. Therefore, it is said, अतः श्री कृष्ण नमादीना भावद ग्रह्यम इंद्रिय सम सेवन मुखे ही जिह्वे दौ सेव्यम इव स्मृति यहदः. No one can understand as he is by the blunt material senses, but he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with them for their transcendental loving service unto him. Bhakti Rahasyamrita Sindhu 1.2 2234.
Hare
Should I read?
Krishna Mataji. No, no, that's good. Thank you. So this two sloka, Jnanam te savijnanam idam vakshyami sesasah ज्ञात्वा नेह भूयो अन्य ज्ञात्वम avishyate. Krishna is saying, I say now declare unto you the full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. Thus being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. So if you get a someone teacher like Krishna, who is saying that I will tell you everything was to be known, not just phenomenal, which is like material world, but also numinous, like spiritual world. So the only one who is the owner of both can say that. So Krishna can say this. Um, and now next sloka Krishna is saying, Manishyanam sahastresu kaschititi yayati siddhaye yate yayatamapi siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvataha. Krishna is saying, out of many thousand among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who achieve perfection, hardly one knows truth in me, knows me in truth. So Krishna is saying, it is Arjun, it is not very easy to understand me. But on the other hand, the yogis and jnanis, they think bhakti is for weak people, but bhakti is very easy. But Krishna is saying, no, no, no. It is out of many thousand among men who wants to get liberation, which is perfection. In material sense, liberation is the highest perfection. So, liberation is the last word in this material world. Okay, you get liberation, you are perfect. But Krishna is saying, out of many thousand among men who want to get perfection, and of those who have achieved the perfection, hardly even one knows me in truth. So most of people, even they have achieved perfection, they don't understand Krishna. And Prabhupada ji explaining here that these yogis and jnanis get confused about Krishna. Why? Because they don't do bhakti. Because they don't do bhakti, by their own endeavor, they cannot understand Krishna in full. Why is that? Because they don't follow devotional service, which is based on Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhi Vina Ayakantaki Harer Bhakti Utpataya Kalpate. So they just create utpat, means disturbance in society. Why? Because they don't follow Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidhim Vina. because they don't follow Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Puran, Mahapuran, or Narada Pancharatric Vidhi to to conduct the devotional service. So that's why they create disturbance, because they say, oh, there is no God, or everyone is God. This is what going on, right? So why they cannot understand Krishna? First, they don't follow bhakti. And why by following bhakti they can understand Krishna? What is in bhakti which is very special? Here is description. Ata Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahan indriya grahayam indriya sevan mukho hi jivado swayam eva sprut adha. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.2034 to 34, it is said that no one can understand Krishna by their blunt material senses, like yogis and jnanis. They cannot understand. Why? Because unless Krishna reveal himself to any living entity, a living entity cannot understand Krishna. And Krishna only reveals himself to the person who follows devotional service, transcendental loving service unto him. Sevan mukha hi jivado swayam eva sprut adha. Krishna himself reveals. So unless he is pleased, nobody can understand Krishna, howsoever they try. And because he gets pleased by someone who follows devotional service, therefore devotional service Atha Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhave Grahan Indriya Sevan Mukha Hi Jivado. Devotional service start with Sevan Mukho, with the mouth, with the tongue. What do you do with the tongue? Two things we do with the tongue. We talk about Krishna or chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And you can eat Krishna Prasadam. And these two things anybody can do. We don't need high education scholarship to chant Hare Krishna or eat prasadam. Eat prasadam, even illiterate people eat prasadam, food, right? So if we just do these two things, one is to chant Hare Krishna. So first Krishna said, Tat Shanu, hear about Krishna. Anybody can hear, not so hard, right? And then now Krishna is here revealed that Sevan Mukha hi Jivado. With the mouth, with the tongue, do service. What is first service? Chant Hare Krishna. And second service, eat Krishna Prasadam. These two things, three things, hearing, chanting, eating Prasadam, anybody can do, right? Don't need a big bank balance or money or education or fame. No. Krishna has made it very simple to understand Krishna. And when Krishna sees that anyone doing these three things, then he reveals. He reveals. Swayam eva sprut adha. He reveals himself. So, and that is because people don't do this. Manushyanam sahasresu kaschit yeti siddhe yathanam api siddhanam yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvata. Krishna knows that even process is very simple, but still people will not follow. The rascal and foolish people will not follow. That's why he says, out of many thousand men who get liberation, endeavor for liberation or get liberation, hardly even one knows me. Why? Because they don't do these. They don't do Sruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatrim Vidhim Vina. They do Aikantiki Hare Bhakti. They'll say, oh, I will go alone and do Bhakti. And what they do? Utpataya Kalpate. They do Utpat. And then they don't do this. Atha Krishna Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhave Indriya Sevan Mukho Hi Jivado. They don't do Sevan Mukho Hi Jivado. Swayam Eva Spratadha. So the Krishna never reveals to such people. Okay. So this is the understanding, little bit as per Prabhupada teaching. Text 4. Who wants to read
I'll read
text 4?
Prabhuji. I'll read Prabhuji.
Mataji. Yes.
भूमिर् अपो नलो वायु काममनोबुद्धिरेव च अहङ्कार इति यन्मे भिन्नप्रकृतिर् अष्टादा Yes, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, all together, these eight constitutes my separated material energies. Purport. The science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and his diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of the Lord in his different Purushak incarnations, expansions, as described in Satvata Tantra. Vishnu tu trini rupani purusatya purusatyaani atho viduhu. Ekantu mahata sastra dvitiyantu anda samsthitam. Tritiya sarvabhuta tani gnatha vimuchyate. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes three Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as the Mahatattva. The second, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, enters into all the universe to create diversities in each of them. The third, Sirodaka Sai Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading supersoul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these three Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement. This material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. All the activities of material world are directed by these three Vishnu expansions of Lord Krishna. The Purushas are called incarnations. Generally, one who does not know the science of God assumes that the material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities and that the living entities are Purushas, the causes, controllers, and enjoyers of the material energy. According to Bhagavad Gita, this aesthetic conclusion is false. In the verse under discussion, it is stated that Krishna is the original cause of the material manifestation. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this. The ingredients of the material manifestations are separated energies of the mind. Even the Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal of the impersonalist, is a spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. There are no spiritual diversities in the Brahma Jyoti as there are in the Vaikuntha Lokas, and the impersonalist accept the Brahma Jyoti as the ultimate eternal goal. The Paramatma manifestation is also a temporary, all pervasive aspect of the Sirodhaka Sai Vishnu. Shirodhaka Sai Vishnu. The Paramatma manifestation is not eternal in the spiritual world. Therefore, the factual absolute truth is Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. He is the complete energetic person and he possesses different separated and internal energies. In the material energy, the principal manifestations are eight, as above mentioned. Out of these, the first five manifestations, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are called the five Jignatic creations of the are the grass creations, within which the five sense objects are included. They are the manifestations of physical sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Material science comprises those 10 items and nothing more. But the other three items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by the materialists. Philosophers who deal with mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge because they do not know the ultimate source, Krishna, the false ego, I am, and it is mine, which constitute the basic principle of material existence, include 10 sense organs for material activities. Intelligence refers to the total material creation called the Mahatattva. Therefore, from the eight separated energies of the Lord are manifested the 24 elements of the material world, which are the subject matter of Sankhya aesthetic philosophy. They are originally offshoots from Krishna's energy and are separated from him, but aesthetic Sankhya philosophers with a poor fund of knowledge do not know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestations of the external energies of Krishna, as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So this is very important slok. भूमिरपो नलो वायु खमा मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इतियम में भिन्ना प्रकृति अष्टदा. Krishna is saying these 8 constitutes earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, my separated material energies. So he's saying it comes from me. So then if you understand that this 8 thing comes from Krishna, then the whole world comes from Krishna. Even this chair comes from Krishna because this is made of earth. There is a fire in it, in the wood, right? So there is water in it. So anything material is coming from Krishna. Krishna is saying it's my separated energies, right? So then nothing remains beyond Krishna. And it described there are 3 levels of creation. 3 Vishnu controls. Karanodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Chinodakshay Vishnu. They manifest this spiritual world, this material world, and Brahma Jyoti is effulgence of the spiritual world. So Brahma Jyoti, the impersonalists try to get it to merge into Brahma Jyoti, but there is no variety. In Brahma Jyoti, it is all the same. But variety is in a spiritual world. So because there is no diversity, people cannot stay longer. They have to come back. And even this Paramatma manifestation is also known temporary because it is a Chirodakshaya Vishnu expansion. When the universe dissolves, then this whole Vishnu manifestation merges into Krishna. So this world comes from Krishna. That's what Krishna is saying. Okay. So let's read 5th one. Now Krishna is going to reveal more.
Prabhuji, what are the 24 elements, Prabhuji?
That will come. So you know so far 10, right? 5,
Yes,
5,
Prabhuji.
5
That's
this
what
and
it
5 sense object, 5 senses, 5 sense object. So it will
is.
become 15, and mind, intelligence, ego 18, and there
Okay.
is more. It will come in subsequent slokas. It will get revealed.
Okay.
Yes. In Bhagavatam, there is detailed description. Comes
Okay.
24 elements.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. 5th. Anyone wants to read?
Hare
Sarvesh
Krishna
Prabhu?
Guruji. Yes,
Yes.
Guruji, Hare Krishna. अपरेयम् इतस्तन्यं प्रकृतिं विधि मे पराम् जीवभूतां महाबाहो येदं धार्यते जगत्. Translation. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Here, it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energies matter manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross and subtle, are products of inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for different purposes are superior energies of the Supreme Lord. And it is due to this energy that entire material world functions. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. Energies are always controlled by the energetic, and therefore the living entities are always controlled by this Lord. They have no independent existence. They are never equally powerful as intelligent men think. The distinction between the living entity and the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Aparimit परमित ध्रुव तनुभृतो यदि सर्वगत तर्हि न शस्येति नियमो ध्रुव न तथा अजानि च यन्मायं तद् अविमुच्य नियन्तर भवेत् समम अनुजन्तं यद अमातं मत तुष्ट्या. O supreme eternal, if the embodied living entities were eternal and all pervading like you, then you would not be under your control. But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your lordship, then they are at once subjected to your supreme control. Therefore, real liberation entails surrender by the living entities to your control, and that surrender will make them happy. In that constitutional position, one can they be controllers. Therefore, men with limited knowledge who advocate the monastic theory that God and the living entities are equal in all respects are actually guided by a faulty and polluted opinion. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all living entities are controlled by him. The living entities are his superior energy because the quality of their existence is one and the same with the Supreme, but they are never equal to the Lord in quantity of power. While exploiting the gross and subtle inferior energy, the superior energy forgets his real spiritual mind and intelligence. This forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter upon the living entity, but when the living entity becomes free from the influence of the illusory material energy, he attains the stage called mukti or liberation. The false ego, under the influence of material illusions, thinks I am matter and material acquisitions are mine. His actual position is realized when he is liberated from all material ideas, including the conception of his becoming one in all respects with God. Therefore, one may conclude that Gita confirms the living entity to be only one of the mighty energies of Krishna, and when this energy is freed from material contamination, it becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
You can read the next one also, Prabhu. Seventh. Sixth.
Okay. एतदनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणि तुपधारय अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा. All created beings have their source in these two natures of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world. Know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. Purport: everything that exists is a product of matter and spirit. Spirit is the basic field of creation, and the matter is created by spirit. Spirit is not created at certain stage of material development. Rather, this material world is manifested only on the basis of spiritual energy. The material body is developed because spirit is present within matter. The child grows gradually to boyhood and then to manhood because that superior energy, spirit soul, is present. Similarly, the entire cosmic manifestation of the gigantic universe is developed because of the presence of super soul, Vishnu. Therefore, spirit and matter, which combine to manifest this gigantic universal form, one originally two energy of the Lord, and consequently the Lord is the original cause of everything. A fragmental part and parcel of the Lord, namely the living entity, may be the cause of a big skyscraper, a big factory, or even a big city, but he cannot be the cause of a big universe. The cause of the big universe is the big soul or the super soul, and Krishna, the Supreme, is the cause of both the big and small souls. Therefore, he is the original cause of all causes. This is confirmed in Katha Upanishad, Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So these two sloka, Krishna is revealing. So first Krishna described that these eight energies are my separate energies. Then Krishna describing, O mighty Arjuna, there is another superior energy. So he said inferior energies. Those eight are inferior energy. Then Krishna says there is superior energy of mind which comprise the living entities like soul, who are exploiting the resources of this material nature, inferior nature, right? Now Krishna is saying all created beings have their source in these two natures. In the world there are only two natures. The first is inferior energy, which is eight energies you understood: earth, air, water, ether, fire, mind, intelligence, ego. And the second is spiritual energy, which is spirit, soul. Because of these, the world is manifested. And Krishna is saying, Aham Krishna tasya jagata prabhava pralayastatha. That of that is material and that is spiritual in this world, know for certain. He's not saying confusion, he's know for certain that I am the both origin and dissolution. So Krishna is the cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. Right? Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Krishna is Sarva Karan Karanam. In Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma describes him. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaran Karana. The cause of all causes. So ultimately, if you go on analyzing anything in this world, you will find at the end the cause of it is Krishna. Okay? Because you will analyze chemically, oh, what is it made up of? Air, water, ether, fire. Okay, Krishna says it all comes from me. So Krishna is the cause of everything, right? All right, so we'll end here today. We'll stop here. Any questions, comments? No? Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji.
Oh, good. Okay. So we'll do chanting. Okay.
Yes.